Namaskar. SOCHAI in collaboration with Youth Hub र with support of PLAN International organize गरेको यो Young Women Round Table मा यहाँहरु सबैलाई स्वागत छ। I'm Sabiya Shah, the General Manager of Infinity Digital Agency and Infinity Group of Companies. And I'm a big believer of technological possibilities, and one of such example is us sitting here today discussing a prominent issue, capturing it, recording it, and then sharing it on the internet with the hopes that somewhere, someone who is struggling to find the concept of body positivity might get strength listening to our conversation. So I'm here with three amazing women with me. म सबैजनाले आफ्नो introduction एकचोटि आफैले दिन request गर्न चाहन्छु, starting from maybe Nirvana. Right here.
Hi, my name is Nirvana Bhandary. I am a feminist writer and digital activist. I have two initiatives. One is called the F Project Nepal. That is a digital platform for feminist storytelling. And also Nirvana Vibes. And this चाहिँ we organize and curate experiences for women. I'm really passionate about empowering young women, including them in workshops, having really intimate conversations about feminism and the things that affect young women's lives.
Thank you so much. Namaste सबैजनालाई. मेरो नाम चाहिँ सुप्रिया भट्टराई. I work as a clinical nutritionist. So मैले चाहिँ पहिला हाम्समा 2 वर्ष जस्तो क्लिनिकल न्युट्रिसनमा काम गरेर अहिले चाहिँ मेरो आफ्नै कम्पनी छ मिताहारा भनेर. सो त्यसमा चाहिँ म को-फाउन्डर र न्युट्रिसनिस्टको रूपमा काम गर्छु. मिताहाराको चाहिँ फिलोसफी चाहिँ मोडरेट इटिङ हो. सो द्याट्स वाट आइ एम रियली प्यासनेट अबाउट कि खाँदाखेरि चाहिँ मध्यम रूपमा सबै मिलाएर खानुहुन्छ भने चाहिँ हामी पछिसम्म सस्टेनेबली हाम्रो हेल्थ गोल्सहरू चाहिँ अचिभ गर्न सक्छौँ भनेर. यो बाहेक चाहिँ आइ एम अल्सो अ फ्याकल्टी मेम्बर क्याफेडाट कलेजको. आई टिच. सो आइ एम रियली प्यासनेट इन टर्म्स अफ के को बारेमा प्यासनेट छ भनेर भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ मलाई चाहिँ ह्युमन बिहेभियरिजम अलिकति मनपर्छ र म चाहिँ खाना र हाम्रो खाना र त्यसलाई चाहिँ हाम्रो बिहेभियरले कसरी चाहिँ अफेक्ट गर्छ यसको बारेमा चाहिँ आई रियली लुक इन्टु द्याट. या द्याट्स इट.
मेरो नाम चाहिँ Anoushka. Currently I work at Youth Education Foundation as the Program Development Officer. मेरो background भन्नुपर्दाखेरि चाहिँ I'm an agricultural engineer. That took me to the villages of Nepal where I spent a lot of time with female farmers. And that is where I did my research on women and water sustainability, and I'm really passionate about women's access to resources, primarily food, water, shelter. Ani त्यसपछि I used to work at Women Lead where I was introduced to working with adolescent girls, and that is when my thought on imparting them the importance of body positivity came upon, because हामीले कहिले पनि त्यो पाएन.
True. Thank you so much. अलिकति deep पनि जानु जस्तो लाग्यो हैन, especially in terms of अलिकति rewinding to our timeline. Especially when we were maybe किशोर अवस्थामा हैन, maybe teenage years को हुँदाखेरि, or maybe after that, what was your journey like when dealing with body or body positivity? Did you always know about this concept, body positivity भन्ने कुरा छ है भन्ने कुरा पहिलेदेखि थाहा थियो कि हैन, अलिकति as you matured with time थाहा हुन थाल्यो कि? And what was that journey of loving yourself? Or some of us even work in that same issue, right, or in that domain. So त्यहाँ work गर्ने किन चाहिँ त्यो access अथवा त्यो एरियामा पनि किन इन्ट्रेस्ट आयो? अलिकति little bit about your journey. सबैजना around the table एकचोटि फेरि भनिदिनुहोस् न.
Yay, order.
Anything.
Okay, sure. So Malai, definitely I'd never heard this term, body positivity. I'm 30 years old, so tyo belama when I was a teenager, tyo concept thena. I think my biggest struggle was with confidence, and I was a very introverted teenager. And I really loved school and studying. And I was quite obsessed with boys from a very young age. So Malai, I felt like I always needed that external validation, and I never felt beautiful. I never felt validated in that sense. So my biggest thing, rather than body specific one, that my appearance sanga थियो. And I think until an age that I felt beautiful and pretty was when I started feeling more confident. And I think that's the sad truth as well. I know sometimes we do feel we need that external validation to feel like okay in our own skin. Ani मेरो journey, I guess, I don't know, maybe in my early 20s was suru bhayo, and most of my 20s was when I had a lot of growth in accepting my body, and then also talking really vocally about it, especially about things like body hair, for women to have body hair is okay. To not wear makeup, to have bits of skin, like fat and stuff in places that are considered unattractive. So त्यसको बारेमा I started writing a lot about it and also taking photos capturing my body in all these ways. And I think that was a very radical thing Nepalमा त्यो बेला अनि अहिले पनि होला because no one really does that. And I think that's been powerful for a lot of young women.
Thank you so much.
मेरो रिलेट हुने रहेछ निर्वाणासँग चाहिँ मेरो पनि टिनेजमा अभियसली बडी पोजिटिभिटी त सुनेकै थिएन होइन द्याट्स भेरी ट्रु होइन म पनि इन्ट्रोभर्टेड आई वाजन्ट भेरी इन्ट्रोभर्टेड तर आई ह्याड स्ट्रगल फिटिङ इन समाउ है मलाई एकदम मेरो एकदम डिफिकल्ट पिरियड हो टिनेजर्स अहिले पनि मेरो त्यो अडोलेसेन्ट टाइम मैले सम्झिन खोज्दाखेरि चाहिँ आफ्टर आई गट माई पिरियड्स भनौँ न लट अफ चेन्जेस द्याट ह्यापन्स बडीमा होइन अनि मलाई चाहिँ फिटिङ इनमा प्रब्लम भयो किनभने मेरो चाहिँ प्रब्लम के भयो भने साथीहरू अर्कै किसिमको सोच्ने म चाहिँ अर्कै किसिमको सोच्ने एन्ड आम लोन त्यो हिसाबमा चाहिँ आई ट्राई टु फिट इन तर हुँदैन होइन त्यो समवेयर थियो अनि मेरो इस्यु चाहिँ के भयो त्यतिखेर भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब I have that problem. I was very good स्कुलमा पढाइमा पढ्ने टाइपको बच्चा अब whatever हुन्छ होइन त्यस्तो थियो तर अनि घर आइसकेपछि I have nothing to do चाहिँ केही छैन अनि मैले चाहिँ खानामा कम्फर्ट खोज्ने थिएँ मेरो अपियरेन्स भन्दा पनि I have struggled with weight a lot of time होइन अनि एकदमै बिन्जिङ भन्छ नि एउटै सिटिङमा लामो खाइन्छ होइन त्यस्तो चाहिँ मैले गरेको छु धेरै मामुहरूलाई नै अब आमाहरूले हेरेर कति खाएको यो के गरेको अनि कन्सटेन्ट त्यो खानाको तैँले धेरै खाइरहेको छेस् अनि गयो भने यो त मोटाएछ यो दुब्लाएछ अनि स्टफ्स लाइक द्याट होइन सो त्यो चाहिँ भएर चाहिँ त्यसले गरेर चाहिँ हुन्छ नि कहाँ म हराएँ जस्तो कि वाट एम आई डुइङ वेयर इज दिस भने जस्तो होइन सो त्यो चाहिँ भएको थियो पहिला है तर मेरो 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 मेजर बडी लभिङ पार्ट चाहिँ कतिखेर आयो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ आफ्टर माई हाई स्कुल आई थिङ्क आई स्टार्टेड डुइङ योगा आई एम प्रो योगा म सबैलाई योगा गर्नु सो मैले यस्तो चेन्जेस भेटाएको छु मेरो बडीले गर्न सक्ने जुन चाहिँ मैले पहिला हुँदैन थियो होइन मलाई मैले वेट लसकै लागि गरेँ सुरुमा होइन तर इट वेन्ट बियोन्ड द्याट भनौँ न अनि जुन हिसाबको स्टेबिलिटी अनि जुन हिसाबको मस्कुलर स्ट्रेन्थ हुन्थ्यो होइन म चाहिँ सानो यो सिडी पनि माथि तल गर्न नसक्ने मान्छे होइन क्या नसाउने यस्तो हुने मान्छे भने मेरो अहिले स्ट्यामिना इज नेक्स्ट म आफैलाई भन्छु नेक्स्ट लेभल स्ट्यामिना छ मेरो भनेर होइन सो द्याट्स
योगा सेसन लिनुपर्छ
आई एम नट द्याट प्रो तर म चाहिँ सबैलाई नै म आफ्नो पनि क्लाइन्ट्सहरूलाई भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ योगा गर्न ट्राई गर्नु न एकचोटि भनेर आई ट्राई टु गिभ द्याट होइन तर त्यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ देयर आर थिङ्स द्याट स्टार्टेड लाइक वेट एन्ड खाना मैले मेरो बानी के गरिरहेको छु खानासँग चाहिँ जुन हिसाबको हाम्रो फुड चोइसेस गर्छौँ हामी स्ट्रेस भएको बेला अब वाटेभर होइन त्यस्तो कुराहरू चाहिँ मलाई योगाले नै मैले आफै थाहा पाएको चाहिँ योगाबाट हो अनि द्याट स्टार्टेड ह्यापनिङ अनि 20s हाई स्कुलबाट यो के भन्छ हाम्रो ब्याचलर्स पिरियडमा पनि त्यस्तै थियो त्यस्तैमै गइरहेको थियो स्ट्रगल भइरहेको थियो दिस द्याट अनि म मास्टर्स गर्न गइसकेपछि चाहिँ मैले कन्सियसली न्युट्रिसन चुज गरेँ हो कि बिकज आई वान्ट नो वाट फुड डज टु माई बडी राइट मैले नखाँदाखेरि के हुन्छ के रहेछ
भनेर
आई डिड इट फर माइसेल्फ बेसिकली म एकदम साइन्समा इन्ट्रेस्टेड मान्छे हो सो आई वान्ट नो द साइन्स बिहाइन्ड वाट्स ह्यापनिङ होइन सो त्यो गर्न थालिसकेपछि चाहिँ आई थिङ्क मेरो पढाइ र मेरो काम र मेरो लभिङ माई बडी अनि त्यो हुन्छ नि ग्रोथ अरू मलाई कन्फिडेन्सहरू सबै एकैचोटि भइरहेछ होइन अनि अरू बेला अरू मान्छे अहिले म जुन प्र्याक्टिस गरिरहेको छु त्यतिखेर अरूको पनि कुरा सुन्छु एन्ड देयर आर डिफ्रेन्ट आइडियाज द्याट कम्स अनि त्यसले अझै धेरै इन्सपायर गर्छ त्यस्तो भइरहेछ है तर इट्स द जर्नी आई थिङ्क अहिले पनि त्यही चलिरहेछ कहिले माथि कहिले तल तर आइम अवेयर दिस इज ह्यापनिङ टु मी भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ मलाई थाहा चाहिँ पाउँछु पहिला चाहिँ इट वाजन इजी त्यतिखेर चाहिँ सो त्यस्तो चाहिँ थियो मेरो चाहिँ
Thank you so much. It was such a good journey to hear about. हजुरको पनि केही सुनाइदिनुहोस्
My journey to kind of capture it, say, I feel like हाम्रो generation को entertainment was TV and TV kind of bombarded us with Fair and Lovely ads अनि बिहान 4 बजे हेऱ्यो भने चाहिँ you like do this a belt that loses 10 kgs 15 kgs भनेर हैन and we had very limited entertainment options नि त त्यो बेला and the next best thing was magazines same thing हुन्छ नि तर मेरो चाहिँ main concern was my weight अनि I struggled a lot with weight and it was about how my body kind of processed food के so मेरो चाहिँ सानो हुँदा I had a heart surgery at 8 अनि त्यसपछि like follow up complications and follow up procedures भयो हैन so every time I would get back to my normal self exercise eat right and then something would happen I would be on bed rest but the thing was whenever I was pumped with the IV बाट उदिँदाखेरि it was like my body was on steroids okay because खाएर पचाइरहेको खाना चाहिँ यो my body suddenly getting it through the bloodstream it's like party भए जस्तो हुन्छ नि त you know like अनि then I would gain like last year पनि त्यही भएको थियो in a span of like 3 months I gained I guess about 11 kgs and that this has been happening मेरो I would say from the age of 8 so on and off by around so सानो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ imagine like not seeing someone for 3 months and suddenly you're 10 kgs heavier right and well not as growing के भन्छ vertically as well as you're growing horizontally अनि त्यो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ I would struggle a lot with a big scar on my chest going swimming which I loved and I used to train as a swimmer होइन त्यो as my body grew the swimming costumes kind of like exposing that scar was really difficult but I realized when so I grew up in a joint family मेरो cousins are हुनुहुन्थ्यो अनि one of the youngest one she's 15 years younger to me के अनि she said something about somebody called me ugly or something भनेर के उलाई चाहिँ मेरो बहिनीलाई and then I felt so bad and how she's putting all of her worth in her face and her body and then I took a step back and realized I'm doing the same and I'm 20 she's 5 and how am I supposed to tell her that this is wrong when I'm doing the same thing but in that year I decided a few of us at Women decided we're going to kind of study on this we're going to see what causes this and we're going to make workshops happen and then I think the acceptance हरू चाहिँ आउन थालेको
okay so mostly battle with yourself and kind of a health related part पनि छोएको रहेछ अहिलेको जर्नीमा मेरो केसमा चाहिँ पर्सनली भन्नुपर्दा वेटको इस्यु चाहिँ मलाई त्यति भएन when I was a teenager अहिले चाहिँ भइरहेछ हैन बट त्यो बेला चाहिँ त्यति भएन like you I struggled a lot to do with appearance के because बच्चामा चाहिँ सबैले फुर्काइदिने नि त कस्तो राम्री हिस्सी परे कि भन्दै अनि त्यसपछि you go in the mass and then you suddenly realize that you're not that attractive and good looking as people put out you to be right बच्चामा हुँदा so mostly to do with appearance and scars को कुरा I would like to join पनि किनभने म चाहिँ बच्चामा पिङबाट लडेको थिएँ कि लड्दाखेरि मेरो ओठमा यतापट्टि एकदम ठुलो स्कार भएर एकदम सुन्निएको थियो कि ओठ फेरि वान साइडेड मात्रै भएको थियो होइन and it was like यसै त ठुलो झन् ठुलो भएर and then I used to get a lot of not a lot of but close people colleaguesहरूले चाहिँ यस्तो कलरको लिपस्टिक नलाऊ बिकज तिमीलाई यस्तो टाइपको मान्छे जस्तो देखिन्छ टु यस्तो खालको कुराहरू पनि गर्ने होइन यो थियो and then यो वुमेन्स यो आजको सेसनमा इन्भाइट गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ बोनिता दिले मलाई के गर्नु भने आई रिसेन्टली कट माई हेयर सो मैले चाहिँ कपाल डोनेट गरेको हो कि फर द क्यान्सर पेसेन्ट द्याट गोज इन टु इन्डियाको एनजिओ एन्ड देन उहाँले के भन्नुभयो भन्दाखेरि तिम्रो त्यो जर्नी पनि कस्तो इन्सपायरिङ लाग्यो त्यो पनि एउटा राम्रो स्टोरी होला जस्तो लाग्यो बट आई डिड इट फर माइ सेल्फ एन्ड फर द क्यान्सर पेसेन्ट्स नि त सो यस्तो के स्टेरियोटिपिकल पार्ट्स द्याट फ्रम हेयर टु सर्टेन थिङ्स द्याट तपाईँ स्किन कलर हुनसक्छ are those a part of issue that we felt as growing up and हुन्छ नि कसरी चाहिँ त्यसले आफ्नो सेल्फ एस्टिमलाई इफेक्ट गर्यो societal pressure to maybe the role of media or maybe role of influencers maybe celebrities maybe so एउटा सेल्फ एस्टिममा कसरी त्यसले लिङ्क गर्छ कन्फिडेन्समा कसरी त्यसले लिङ्क गर्छ and how do we become so wary of ourselves, so conscious of our body that we start even hating it for so many reasons, So actually, just anyway, maybe you can touch upon that, Aililai.
Does anyone else want to start? I'm still thinking.
Sure. When we were researching a lot about what happens with South Asian culture and body positivity, so much of it is associated with character nita some mythological stories or folk stories or pani say when they say ram it's supposed to be abroad even for men and tyo stereotype छ but for केटीहरू चाहिँ they have to be fair petite अनि some kind of eyes and all भनेर अनि the moment they're describing somebody say evil or somebody less good they'd come up with terms like they were dark skinned, the nose was too long or the Ramayana हेर्दाखेरि हुन्छ नि so त्यो कल्चरमा हुर्किँदाखेरि then you start feeling inferior because त्यो हामी सुन्दै त्यसरी नै हुर्क्यो नि त but it's amazing that we have unlearned all of it and then you watch movies अब त्यो सुन्दै आयो and then त्यो कथाहरू सुन्दै आयो पढ्दै आयो then you watch movies the same thing हैन it kind of does a lot of I would say character assassination to people who don't fit that त्यो भयो भने त confidence-मा there is a huge dip so Nirvana could talk more about confidence त्यसमा त
शेयर अलिकति यसमा मेरो पर्सनल कुरा एड अप गरेँ कि मैले चाहिँ मेरो चाहिँ स्ट्रेच मार्क्स छ है आइभ अल्सो बिन स्ट्रगलिङ विथ वेट नि त अनि प्लस चाहिँ मेरो बडीमा पहिला हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ आई हेड सम स्किन कन्डिसन त्यसले गरेर चाहिँ त्यो रङ मेडिकेसन दिएको हुनाले चाहिँ मेरो स्किन बर्न्ड छ सो मेरो लेग्सहरूमा चाहिँ बिग स्कर्स बर्न्ड देखिन्छ कि अनि आई वुडन्ट सो इट स्कुलमा हुँदा म यहाँ त्यतिखेर यत्रो लामो सक्स लाउँदैन थियो नि आजकल लाउँछ तर यु इमेजिन त्यतिखेरको टाइममा यहाँ लामो सक्स आई टु वेयर द्याट होइन अनि आई डिड नट स्विम बिकज यु हेभ टु सो यर खुट्टा त देखाउनु पऱ्यो होइन पेट चाहिँ ठिकै छ यु क्यान वेयर वान बिकिनी लाउनु पऱ्यो होइन वान सुट त्यस्तो एउटा हुन्छ नि बडी सुट लाउनु मिल्छ होइन आई डेन्ट लर्न स्विमिङ बिकज अफ द्याट मैले सिधै सिकिनँ बिकज एभ्रीबडी डिड इट आई डेन्ट डु इट मलाई त्यो कन्फिडेन्स चाहिँ छैन क्या छैन आई डेन्ट डु इट होइन अनि त्यो हुँदै गयो एकदमै लामो हो कि मेरो यो स्ट्रगलमा एकदम लामो समयसम्म आई डेन्ट डु इट मैले त्यस्तो लुगा लाउँदिनँ नो सर्ट्स नथिङ होइन अब द स्कार आई स्टिल देयर अनि गर्दिनँ थिएँ एन्ड देन म इन्डियामा पढायो त्यहाँ त इट्स सो हट यु हेभ टु वेयर इट होइन लाउनु पर्थ्यो अनि त्यतिखेर चाहिँ म हस्टेलहरूमा चाहिँ लाउँथेँ अनि बिचहरूमा जाँदाखेरि के अनि मलाई चाहिँ गोवा आई लभ गोवा म एकदम घुम्न जान्छु त्यहाँ अनि इट्स भेरी लिबरेटिङ देयर के मान्छेहरू एकदम फ्री छ अनि यु नो बडी इज लुकिङ एट नो बडी होइन यताउति होइन अनि त्यहाँनिर चाहिँ मलाई चाहिँ त्यहाँ के अब हामी कुन कल्चरमा आउँछ यहाँनिर अब त्यो सोसियल मलाई त्यो स्विम गर्न जाँदाखेरि पनि साथीहरूको कमेन्ट्सहरू उसले मलाई यस्तो भन्यो म त मोटो देखेर चाहिँ बेली पाउच परेर के हुन्थ्यो होइन त्यो सोचेर पनि म आफूलाई आँटै आउँदैन थियो म त्यहाँ जाँदाखेरि वाज सो लिबरेटिङ टु मी आई वर एभ्रिथिङ म सबै लाएर आई वाज जति आउँछ स्विम गर्नलाई फर्स्ट टाइम त्यहाँ पानी खेलायो म पानी पनि खेल्दिनँ थिएँ अनि म यहाँ आई केम ब्याक इट वाज सो मलाई यस्तो फ्री फिल भयो कि त्यसपछि म यहाँ आएँ अनि यहाँ आइसकेपछि मैले स्विमिङ सिकेँ अब मलाई अहिले अलिक इट्स अगेन द्याट जर्नी नै छ अहिले पनि होइन तर सेम कुरा के यो हाम्रो जुन हिसाबको एउटा सर्टेन किसिमको बडी भनेको छ सर्टेन किसिमको यो स्कार्स हुनु हुँदैन हामीलाई यो हाम्रो ह्युमन बडीमा त स्कार्स त दिएर होइन त्यो कुराहरू चाहिँ त्यही मैले त्यही भन्न खोजेँ कि मेरो कन्फिडेन्स चाहिँ त्यस्तै थियो भर्खरै आएको हो क्या यो हिसाबमा चाहिँ यो कुराहरूमा चाहिँ होइन तर
I think it's so interesting like how a trip when going to a very different environment with different social expectations that really changes us. Malai pani Goa I find very very freeing on your South Asian usma landscape ma haina Nepal other parts of India herera malai pani a trip really changed how I saw my body. Ma चाहिँ Europe gएको थिएँ about 5 years ago. अनि त्यहाँ like at one point I was very vocal also about this free the nipple movement भनेर हैन अनि त्यो चाहिँ that idea came to me when I went to Europe. And just the way that I saw women were much more confident with their bodies and beachharma ekdam notice hune ke so one thing is the nipple is not a sexualized European context ma haina so women were tanning topless and at first of course you find it so like oh my god like कसरी गर्न सकेको yeah and then like I gained the confidence to do that myself because people are not sexualizing your body अब त्यो नै हो नि I think नेपालमा बसेर that fear right like अब nipple को त पुरै छोड्दियौ खुट्टाहरु देखाउन mini skirt लाउन अब it all comes
on skin like you said
I feel like it's more judgment based but like showing leg and showing skin that it feels you feel it's like it's dangerous as well right so there's a reason for that but when I saw women being really confident I feel like women can shame us but women can also empower us so often I think things like fat kali gori hune hair is so much often comes from other women or friends when we're younger but then if we change the same thing and we have women that one demonstrate to us that they are comfortable with that. It's so inspiring, I think. So म पनि त्यसरी inspired भएँ, and then I started becoming more bold with myself, and body hair is something that I really try to challenge, you know, that like if men don't have to shave their armpits, why do women have to, you know? And मान्छेहरु घिन लाग्दो पनि भन्छ के. I've heard women say that as well, like हैन मलाई घिन लाग्छ. But it's like, where did that idea come to you from, right? Like you're not just born with that idea, ni. So yeah, things like that.
Just because you are involved too much in a clinical practice ma pani हैन, and then a lot of people come to you for nutrition ko help होला अथवा अरु कुराहरुमा पनि हैन. So I just want to talk about obviously body ma त्यसरी feel गर्दाखेरि mental impact त त्यसले पार्छ नै, psychological impact पाउँछ, and a lot of people have been really vocal about it, which is a good thing किनभने त्यो change phenomenon ल्याइरहेको छ एक हिसाबमा. But यसले nutrition मा पनि कस्तो affect गर्छ र कस्तो consequences छ, and do we sort of neglect that because हामी mental space मा मात्रै कुरा गरिरहेका हुन्छौँ, यसले हाम्रो body मा health wise कस्तो impact गरिरहेका हुन्छौँ मा एकदम कम नै कुरा हुन्छ नि त. So maybe some your experiences of your maybe patientहरुसँग or maybe clientहरुसँग or even your personal story in that sense.
न्युट्रिसन obviously असर पार्छ हैन, किनभने हाम्रो 1-2 दिनै खाएन भने हाम्रो पहिलाको एनर्जी र 2 दिनको एनर्जी जस्ट डिफरेन्स हैन. सो हाम्रो बडी नै बनेकै खानाबाट हो, टु बी भेरी प्रिसाइजली अनेस्ट. सो यो बडी पोजिटिभ भन्दा नि मेन हाम्रोमा आउने पेसेन्ट्सहरू एन्ड द टाइप्स अफ पिपल, I've been doing this for 3 years now. So the pattern हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ it's more like it's always weight. It's always weight हैन, अनि it's always weight. हामीलाई पनि हुन्छ क्या एज अ न्युट्रिसनिस्ट, किन हामी पनि कहिले कहिले दुब्लो बडी चेन्ज हुन्छ, कहिले के हुन्छ. निर्वाणा सेड शी जस्ट हिट 30s हैन, सो बडीको बायोलोजिकल त्यो चेन्ज हुन्छ भनेर हैन. सो त्यो सबै हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ के अरे हामीले चाहिँ कुरा गर्दाखेरि जहिले पनि एभ्रीबडी हु कम्स टु अस इज वेट मेरो वेट बढ्यो यो हैन. सुरुमा मैले नै सुरु गर्दाखेरि वेटैबाट सुरु गरेको थिएँ भनेको छ, तर I've come to realize it's just not weight. कति टाइम there are so many things happening inside you. त्यो वेट एकदम बाई प्रडक्ट हुन्छ कि हैन. कहिलेकाहीँ तपाईँको स्ट्रेसलाई मात्र मिलाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ मेन्टल स्पेसको कुरा गर्नुहुन्छ, त्यसलाई मात्र मिलाउँदाखेरि द टाइप अफ फुड चोइसेस द्याट वी मेक, त्यसले गरेर यो वेट मजाले घट्छ नि, वेटकै कुरा गर्ने हो भने पनि हैन. सो त्यस्तो हुन्छ. सो यो अहिलेको प्याटर्न इट्स जस्ट वेट मात्र भयो, वेट त भयो त्यसमाथि देयर इज समथिङ, यो डायट कल्चर छ हैन. देयर इज समथिङ लाइक अब अहिले रिसेन्टली मैले भर्खर हेरेको हुनाले मैले यसैको बारेमा सेयर गरेँ. दिस कार्निभोर डायट आइरहेको छ अहिले, यु नो, मासु मात्र खाने, completely masu. And I just found another one. I was just going through some researches, and there is raw masu matra khane pani hununcha हैन. So त्यसले गरेर चाहिँ weight some people lost some pounds, this that हैन. Keto is there हैन. अब there are so many others. Water fasting भन्नुहुन्छ कि, fruit खाने मात्र, eggs मात्र खाने. There are so many things that girls do. And मलाई चाहिँ पहिला के लाग्दा यो बाहिर मात्र हुन्छ, it's not relatable नेपालमा भनेर, तर it is, किनभने गर्छ मान्छेले, यहाँ पनि गर्छ. We have found so many people doing that and coming. अनि नभन्ने किनभने डर लाग्छ भन्दाखेरि, एन्ड देन वान्स यु गेन द्याट ट्रस्ट, अनि त्यसपछि चाहिँ मैले यस्तो गरिरहेको छु. अनि त्यसले गर्दा इम्प्लिकेसन्स के भइरहेछ ल, एकदम सानो इम्प्लिकेसनै भन्नुभयो भन्दाखेरि ल वुमेनकै कुरा गर्दाखेरि इट्स पिरियड्स, रेगुलर पिरियड्स भइरहेछ होइन. त्यो त समथिङ द्याट ह्यापन्स टु यु नर्मली बायोलोजिकली सधैँ हुनुपर्ने हो नि त. सो रेगुलर पिरियड्स भइरहेछ होइन. अर्को ब्रेन फग सबभन्दा कमन, के भन्ने टुवा परिरहेको छु, के बोलिरहेको छु थाहा छैन भने जस्तो कि, त्यो क्लाउड आइरहेछ जस्तो भइरहेछ होइन. सो त्यो यो दिज आर स्मल सिम्टम्स होइन. अब एक्सट्रिम लेभलमा गयो भने इटिङ डिसअर्डरै हुने होइन. अब इटिङ डिसअर्डर के यो पनि मलाई पहिला हुँदैन थियो जस्तो लाग्थ्यो नेपालमा. इट्स नट पोसिबल. मैले केही स्टडिजहरू मात्र आफ्नो थिसिसहरूमा गराएँ होला भनेर, तर धेरैजना हुनुहुन्छ उहाँहरूलाई कम फर मलाई चाहिँ आई थिङ्क इफ दे कम टु मी फर्स्ट टाइम मसँग कुरा गर्न मलाई केही भएको छ भनेर आउनु पनि बिग स्टेप हो जस्तो लाग्छ. किनभने इट इज सो unspoken about and it's somewhere but we don't know where जस्तो के, nobody talks about it जस्तो हैन. सो त्यस्तो हुन्छ. इटिङ डिसअर्डर्समा अहिलेसम्म हामीले हेरेकोमा देयर इज एनोरेक्सिया, त्यसमा चाहिँ एकदम धेरै नखाने एक्सपिरियन्स केसमै भन्दाखेरि मैले रिसेन्टली अघि पनि सेयर गरिरहेको थिएँ. आई वान्ट टु बी सो थिन, आई डोन्ट केयर मेरो अर्गन फेल होस् मलाई थाहा मतलब छैन तर आई वान्ट टु बी थिन मलाई कसैले ओ मोटायो भनेर त्यो एउटा कमेन्टले ट्रिगर हुने कि जुन हामी जहिले भेट्दा हुन्छ नि म मेरो साथीहरूलाई भेटेको छ न म 2-3 महिनापछि भेट्यो भने एकदम त मोटाएछ है त्यसले ट्रिगर गर्ने कि अब त्यस्तो हुन्छ होइन यस बिन्जिङ जुन मलाई आफै थियो वान सिटिङमा लामो समयसम्म खाने एकदम कमन छ है बिन्जिङ एकदम धेरै कमन छ बिन्ज गर्दाखेरि फेरि के हुन्छ मान्छेहरूको प्याटर्न हाम्रो कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि हामी बिन्ज कम्फर्टको लागि गर्छौँ अनि हाम्रो कम्फर्ट चाहिँ त्यो ओट्स परेजहरूले दिँदैन हामीलाई कम्फर्ट चाहिँ प्रिङ्कल्स लेज अल द्याट हाई फ्याट फुड एन्ड हाई सुगरी फुड्सहरूले दिन्छ किनभने हामीले चाहिँ के खोजिरहेको भने डोपोमिन खोजिरहेको कि तर मैले एकदम टेक्निकल भनेँ तर इट्स भेरी आजकल एकदम कमन भइसक्यो डोपोमिन डिटक्स भनेर आइरहेको हुन्छ एभ्रिवेयर होइन सो त्यो भनेर चाहिँ हामीले रिवार्ड खोज्यो हो कि रिवार्ड हाम्रो बानी चाहिँ कस्तो भने रिवार्ड चाहिरहेको छ सो भ्यालिडेसनसँग पनि रिलेट गर्न मिल्छ सो एक हिसाबले भ्यालिडेटेड हुँदाखेरि पनि एउटा रिवार्ड केही जिते केही पाएँ भनेर खुसी हुने हो नि त त्यो चाहिँ खानाले दिइरहेछ अनि खानामा चाहिँ हाई एनर्जी हाई सुगर फुडले दिन्छ सो द्याट्स वाट वी डु अनि खाएको खाइ गर्छौँ जबसम्म यु डोन्ट फिल कन्टेन्ट होइन त्यसमा कति क्यालोरिज हुन्छ त्यसले गरेर हाम्रो इम्प्लिकेसन के भएर हुन्छ मतलब हुँदैन अनि अर्को के हुन्छ अर्को एकदम कमन चाहिँ बिन्जिङ एन्ड देन गिल्ट ट्रिपमा गइन्छ एभ्री वान नोज दिज आर नट गुड फुड भनेर गुड ब्याड हाम्रो होइन हामी चाहिँ वेन वी टक हाम्रो क्लाइन्ट्सहरूसँग यस्तो मान्छेहरूसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि पनि उहाँहरूसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि पनि चाहिँ डोन्ट लेबल यु फुड गुड ब्याड इट्स नट देयर होइन यो तिमीलाई खानु मन छ तपाईँलाई खानु मन छ खाने हो मन लागेको बेलामा खाने हो होइन द्याट्स वाट यु हेभ टु डु लाइफमा टाइम यस्तो छ कि अब म गएर एकदम हेल्दी खान्छु भनेर चाहिँ तपाईँ त हेल्दी पाइँदैन नि त इक्जाम्पलै गरेर फिल्ड ट्रिपमा जानु सबै यु ओन्ली गोइङ टु गेट इन्स्टेन्ट नुडल्स यु नट गोइङ टु गेट अ लट अफ अरू कुराहरू अब के गर्ने इन्स्टेन्ट नुडल नखाने मेरो कुरा हो क्या किनभने खानु त परेछ नि त होइन सो त्यस्तो चिजहरू त्यसले नि गिल्ट ट्रिप दिने क्या यो मेरो साथीहरूलाई पनि हुन्छ क्या म हेल्दीमा गइरहेको छु सानो कुरा हो तर यसले एकदम धेरै असर पारिरहन्छ म हेल्दी खाइरहेको छु अनि एउटा चाउचाउ खायो वा समथिङ खानुभयो अनि गयो अब मेरो सबै कुरा अगेन यु कम ब्याक मेरो सबै बिग्रियो माई गोल्स आर गन एभ्रिथिङ इज गन एन्ड देन अगेन यु स्टार्ट डुइङ द सेम कि गिल्टले गरेर पनि फेरि बिन्जिङ गर्ने अर्को चाहिँ बुलिमिक सो अर्को चाहिँ बुलिमिक इज मोर लाइक युर इटिङ अ लट एन्ड देन युर भमिटिङ इट आउट एकदम कमन छ है यो चाहिँ सो भमिट गर्ने अर ल्याक्जेटिभ्सहरू खाएर डायरियाहरू यु टेक द्याट थिङ आउट अफ यर बडी जति खानु भएको छ त्यति इमिडिएटली होइन सो त्यस्तो केसेसहरू चाहिँ एकदम धेरै छ त्यसको इम्प्लिकेसन इट्स एकदम धेरै नै हुन्छ कि जस्ट सोसियल पार्टमा मात्र बिन्जिङ इमेजिन एउटा मान्छे बिन्ज गर्छ अरे उसलाई बिन्जिङ एपिसोड अब ठ्याक्क ब्रेकफास्टको टाइममा आयो भने अब सो मेनी थिङ्स आर गोइङ टु गेट स्टप राइट किनभने अफिस जानु थियो स्कुल जानु थियो देयर आर सो मेनी थिङ्स ह्यापनिङ होइन सोसियल एक्टिभिटीलाई ह्याम्पर गर्ने कसैको पार्टिजहरूमा जान नसक्ने बिकज यु नो युर बिन्जिङ अब मैले त्यहाँ गएर सबैजनाको अगाडि यति धेरै खाएँ भने त मलाई प्रब्लम हुन्छ भन्ने कुरा त थाहा हुन्छ इट्स डिप डाउन थाहा हुन्छ हामीलाई द ओन्ली थिङ इज यसलाई यो के हो म यो किन गरिरहेको छु भन्ने त ट्रिगर्स एन्ड क्युजहरू थाहा पाउनु पर्ने हो होइन तर बडीली हुने इम्प्लिकेसन्सहरू चाहिँ एकदम धेरै नै हुन्छ हेयरको प्रब्लम हेयर फल्स अनि तपाईँको नेल्सहरू हामी चाहिँ डायग्नोस्टिक टुल्सहरूमा युजली नेल्स पनि हेर्छौँ किनभने इफ समन इज भमिटिङ दे आर युजली युजिङ द ह्यान्ड्स अनि टिथ येलो बिकज एसिड आइरहेको हुन्छ एन्ड देन देयर आर लट अफ येलो टिथ ह्यापनिङ इनामल जान्छ नि त होइन सो देयर आर सो मेनी अनि कपाल राम्रो एकदम ब्रिडल भइरहेको हुन्छ जिङ्कहरूको प्रब्लम किनभने अभियसली तपाईँले ब्यालेन्सै खानु भएको छैन भने न्युट्रियन्ट त पुग्दैन नि त होइन सो या दिज आर अल द स्टफ्स द्याट ह्यापन्स
I wanted to talk about diet culture, you know, because this is something that makes me ekdamai angry, really. Because I remember since I was young, like, my mom, my auntie, like, when I couldn't even understand these concepts, you know, they were always on some sort of diet. Okay? It became something that they always talk about it. You diet karra. So you mentioned that belt before as well. I remember when that belt was very trendy.
It's still there, I think.
My mom she's like, okay, I'm going to do this belt, different diets. And I think this is so harmful. Maybe there's like a medical thing behind it. I don't like it. Okay? I don't like any sort of thing that you have to control it. You know, and like, I think these are really harmful, and the diet industry it's like a multi-billion-dollar industry globally, you know. And not just that, but women's insecurities later, you know. There's so many corporations and industries that flourish and profit, you know.
Because of that, yeah.
Exactly, and they have to keep us insecure so they can keep making money off us. Okay? So मलाई यो dieting को चाहिँ हुन्छ नि all the powder भयो, यो belts भयो, books हरू भयो, you know. This is something I find like super problematic. And it's just really sad that people enable each other, you know. They're like, okay, अहिले keto trend छ ल म पनि गर्नु पर्यो God, and I can remember in the last 20 years or whatever how many different fads there has been with diets. Okay? So I feel kind of similarly also about the beauty industry, you know, in the sense of how it affects women's like self-esteem. Because yeah, of course you can use makeup as a tool to for artistry and to express yourself. But when you feel you have to put on 10 different serums on your face, I know, यति धेरै पैसा spend गर्नुपर्छ to be beautiful. Like this is something that is keep on shit.
It is. Oh, dietको कुरा त it's हामीले चाहिँ त्यसलाई अनलर्न गराउने कस्तो गाह्रो हुन्छ क्या when someone comes to us पनि हैन यो हैन यसरी गर्ने खानु न खानु केही छैन के खानु भएर चाहिँ यति धेरै इन्ग्रेन भइसक्यो कि डायटको कुरा मैले यो खानै हुँदैन अब न्युट्रिसनिस्टकोमा जानु भयो भने पनि अब मैले सुगरै खानै हुँदैन कहिले पनि खानै हुँदैन and then it's there like अनलर्न गराउने एकदमै गाह्रो हुने के so
I'll talk हजुर
हैन मैले त्यही भने
I'll talk a little bit about that अलिकति touch base because धेरै कुराहरु हामीले कभर गर्यौं हैन but the main key word I would like to take trigger को कुरा like कतिपय केसमा तपाईले भने जस्तो कि अब कसैले चाहिँ मोटायो भन्दा त्यति माइन्ड नगर्ने कसैले भन्दा एकदम माइन्ड गर्ने हैन and then just wanted to aware our audience too and even हाम्रो opinions पनि about body positivity के हो यो like हुन्छ नि is it just with weight because mostly हामीले body positivity भनेको त के weight हैन अनि obese लाई पनि promote गर्यो भन्छ overweight पनि गर्यो unhealthy way मा पनि promote गरिरहेछ body positivity भन्छ and then on the other side तपाईको body neutrality भन्छ like you said तपाईको this is giving me good things भनेर जुन पहिला तपाईको experience मा share गर्नुभयो नि हैन my body is helping me do things you know live life in general भन्ने हिसाबमा so त्यो part and what is the politically correct way of you know discussing around this topic because you never know who will be offended when and what will trigger whom किनभने उहाँको from their childhood traumas to यति धेरै कुराहरु भइरहेको हुन्छ going on around you will dealing with so many stress right so actually यो concept मा पनि थोरै केही डिस्कस गरेर and then maybe यो implications हरु हामीले अहिले जुन कुरा गर्यौं त्यसलाई पनि विस्तारित हुँदै गर्नुपर्छ I'd like to start with हजुर अनुष्का जी
So body positivity for me is just looking way beyond. A person is so much more than their face, their body, what you see on the first glance, Nita. And just appreciating body positivity is a it should come from within. Like I get triggered. I recently got triggered because I told you last year but I've gained like 11 kgs because my heart was swelling by okay? So I was on medications, I was on sleeping pills because I needed rest. A lot of like my body got its steroid bhane jastै भयो नि त and so a friend of a friend we were just kind of hanging out and he said well have you stopped exercising or something okay? And they know I work out and stuff and I got so bothered and I don't have to tell everybody that I have a medical condition and this year was so rough because I was back in the hospital and all of that and I don't have to and honestly if I don't have the right to comment on Nirvana or hers or yours, anything, okay? As long as it does not affect me, who am I to even comment on it? Well, I can say that you're pretty, but who am I to say, oh, you're ugly or like your, I don't know, mascara is not on point or something like that, okay? So, mother, like, if you don't want to offend anybody, just don't say anything.
I totally agree. There's no need to comment on another person's appearance ever, okay?
Yeah,
and I remember seeing like a meme or whatever on Instagram about this, and it's so true. And like, I mean, it's become culturally acceptable to meet someone and say, "Koti mota, koti dugla, koti gori bhako, koti kali ba," and we have to break that, okay? And the only way we can break that is with ourselves. I mean, I think we can also challenge our family and friends when they do that, because odskal malai ekdam like annoyed hunchu and I say one I want to start saying if an auntie says to me kati mota I'll be like tapai zhan double ba bhandinu man लाग्छ हैन तर just to say like it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant and don't talk about it हुन्छ नि जन हाम्रो साथी our peers सँग त I think we can really challenge that okay? So rather than letting that slide and be like why does that matter, like just don't say that makes me feel upset.
Same. म recently was because I just went on a wedding अनि म बिहामा I just got married अनि पहिला 1 वर्ष भयो अब म एउटा कुनै कसैको वेडिङमा गएको बेला पनि म अलि मोटी भएँ के त खत्रै मोटाएछ भनेर अनि I usually don't say म टक ब्याक गर्दिनँ होइन किनभने इज नो पोइन्ट यसको बारेमा भनेर तर आई वाज मलाई गर्मी पनि थियो आई वाज ट्रिगर मलाई यस्तो रिस उठ्यो अनि के भयो त के भयो मोटाएर भनेको भनौँ के भयो त भने सी वाज डम फाउन्डेड लाइक हेरिरहेको एकछिनसम्म
But it's so different when I heard an uncle say this to other uncle and then हुन्छ नि त the other uncle को savage reply was तपाईँलाई के त मोटाउनु कस्तो गाह्रो छ भनेर and it's never like that with women we take it so personally they can just like laugh it off
हामी त यही सुनेर हुर्क्या हो नि त होइन उहाँहरूले त्यस्तो छैन नि त यस्तो सोच्ने हो भने त होइन सो तर अपियरेन्स चाहिँ म चाहिँ आई हेभ स्टार्टेड वे ब्याक मैले बहिनीहरूलाई नि त्यही सेम कुरा पियर्सहरूलाई भन्न लाउने भने सेम हामी नो लेट्स जस्ट नट टक अबाउट एनीबडीज अपियरेन्स बिकज इट डजन्ट म्याटर एक्चुअली भन्यो भने इट्स अल्सो अबाउट कतिको खाइरहनु भएको छ अर्को आउँछ कि अलिकति बुढो हुन थालेछ स्वस्थ हुनुहुन्छ त्यो अर्को कुरा हो कि किनभने हेल्थ इज अलरेडी अ स्ट्रगल कतिजनाको के प्रब्लम भइरहेको हुन्छ होइन के छ स्वस्थ खाइरहनु भएको छ स्वस्थ छ अर्को अहिले नयाँ आएको छ नि युडन म चाहिँ अलिक धेरै अलिक मिडल एज मान्छेहरूसँग काम गरेर थाहा भयो होला होइन सुगर प्रेसर लागेको छ कि छैन आई क्यान सो किन सोधिरहेको यो कुरा होइन यो किन तपाईँले हेल्प त गर्ने होइन कसैले हेल्प गर्दिनँ त होइन सो वाइ आर यु आस्किङ होइन सो
I've even felt that तपाईँहरूलाई भएको छ कि छैन but strangers commenting on your appearance you know not like I met a guy I didn't even know him अब साथी there and he you know people always think dublako is such a compliment and that you will take it like oh my god thank you so much right now so this guy I don't even know was like Nirvana tim ta ekdam dubla cha hai and a lot of people have been saying this to me recently and I don't know if they expect me to be like thank you but I just say khai male ke gardina ma khaira chu I'm happy that's it once okay and it's they see it as a compliment and I'm like it's not actually because one day when I do gain weight then I will be even harsher on myself because everyone is giving me dublako भनेर compliment के
हो त्यो स्पेक्ट्रममा पनि when you are you know एकदमै यतापट्टि वेटको स्पेक्ट्रममा लिन हुने बित्तिकैदेखि it feels like such a you know a comment on your body जस्तो and then यतापट्टि underweight हुँदै जाँदा अथवा slim अथवा lean हुने बित्तिकै it feels like a compliment पनि and I think that is how we've been socialized in that sense you know brought up पनि अलिकति I would like to link this concept with age and gender पनि because I've seen gone through few research articles अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ mostly तपाईँको girls struggling with image body dissatisfaction than boys होइन even LGBTQIA+ communities हरू पनि एकदम धेरै struggling गरिराख्ने with how they look, how they appear and how they want to be and getting a lot of hate in terms of them having that body they want to be right so in that sense पनि and then जस्तो vulnerable हुन्छ नि त हामी त टिनेजमा त एकदम धेरै vulnerable हुन्छ to media to everything to peer pressure to everything right so त्यो एजसँग पनि आउने पार्ट हो कि लाइक अलिकति यो कुरा in terms of age र gender पनि अलिकति छौँ जस्तो लाग्यो
Should I start? So I read this somewhere 6 वर्षको केटा र केटी I'm not going to touch LGBTQI को अहिले चाहिँ because I'm not very well aware of उनीहरूको struggles होइन 6 वर्षको हेर्दाखेरि केटा र केटीलाई what do you want to change in your body भने they'd come up with like crazy ideas of like I want to run fast I want wings and all होइन सबैजनाको equal हुन्छ अरे कि as they approach pre-teens the insecurity among girls rises rapidly रहेछ But if we look at our culture and evolution नै हेर्दाखेरि पनि केटाहरू चाहिँ they would compete with other men in terms of their vigor in terms of like skills on the like I don't know hunting gathering को skills भयो whereas women त्यो बेला were made to just procreate नि त but now when both of the sexes have equal jobs, equal college degrees, we cannot just confine them to women are made to look pretty and reproduce भनेर के but कतिजनाको त्यही छ सबैजना they would I've heard people say women even get a college degree and job to get married to marry up भनेर के to marry up भनेर that's such a so अहिलेसम्म पनि उनीहरू त्यही सोध्छ so families are bringing up girls त्यसरी नै के सानोदेखि नै राम्री हुनुपर्छ you will get a college degree you will get a job राम्री चाहिँ हुनुपर्छ भनेर it starts so young that the guys would still be what it's called guys it's like rough housing climbing trees all of that and women they're discouraged from activities in दाग लाग्छ स्कार हुन्छ भनेर गर्नु दिँदैन रहेछ कि एन्ड इट इज सच अ पावरफुल इम्प्याक्ट अन वुमेन बिकज इफ यु लुक एट स्टेटिस्टिक्स होइन हाम्रो फ्लड ल्यान्डस्लाइड्सहरूमा मोर वुमेन डाई के and these are life-saving skills रहेछ climbing trees, getting physically fit because running यताउता अनि एक त झन् women are naturally deprived of nutrients घरमा family settingsमा they're given the second best things घरमा पैसा छ भने लुगा पहिला केटा मान्छेलाई आउने होइन so उनीहरूको सारी अड्केर and all of that त्यो माथि झन् without these skills they killed more okay so it's not just about now the Nepalko context or South Asian countries or any economically alikati challenged countries it's not just about looking and status of women on policy level and okay it's become a matter of life and death okay your body positivity and how we allow girls to be banera yeah
Anyone very interesting, right? That's like really interesting to learn.
Anyone would like to add anything on this?
Can you repeat the question, please?
In terms of age or gender, like how does the perspective change? More vulnerability ko kuraharu pani aउँछ हैन?
I think for me personally, it was like as I got older and I learned more that it doesn't matter what people say about you, I know. Again, but I think that comes with age a lot. I know when we're younger, especially adolescents, when we're young women, we're much more impressionable. I know, so we care a lot about what other people say, and I think usually when we get older, we become more confident and assertive. I know, and say like your opinion doesn't matter to me. What matters is that I feel good about myself. So मेरो journey चाहिँ त्यस्तै भएको छ and I kind of see that in the women around me.
Because that's like having मैले पनि एउटा स्टडी हेरेको थिएँ त्यसमा चाहिँ young women भन्दा अलिकति older age को women are more satisfied with the bodies रहेछ कि हैन and so maybe young women like having that mentorship or with you being vocal on social media with accepting your body so that maybe could trigger or even us sharing our stories right so maybe त्यसले चाहिँ कुनै एउटा it could inspire it could be look up to गर्ने एउटा source भयो भने पनि एकदम ठुलो हेल्प चाहिँ गर्ने रहेछ
does it change with generations because हाम्रो बेला हामीलाई कमेन्ट गर्ने भनेको हाम्रो साथी or family मात्र हुन्थ्यो त somebody 13 right now has about 1500 people
social media
so I would really want to see like how that changes when they grow up
and I think your social media impact is both and so pros because there are a lot of body positivity influencers and stuff but then if you've never found those content creators and timro feed ma only you see these people with these big eyelash extensions of a body shape going obviously there's a lot of things about how the ideal body type also changes over the decades and oily male dekheko anusar chai is like very amazing curves but the waist is still very small right so very big like breasts and ass and a small waist and that's still some people might think okay that's more inclusive of body types but in a way it's also just changing the body standard Nita so if you only follow this the content creator or your friends are also trying to be that ideal makeup and completely flawless it does I think it increases a lot of insecurities so there's so much stuff on the internet I know it's just about what you consume and what you have access to
हामीले through Infinity Digital Agency चाहिँ हामीले एउटा dental hospital को branding र marketing को project गरेका थियौं कि अनि त्यहाँ चाहिँ the doctor was orthodontist specialist हुनुहुन्थ्यो अनि उहाँले भन्नुहुन्थ्यो कि मलाई चाहिँ ब्रसेस भनेको अपीयरेन्स सँग मात्रै त होला नि जस्तो लाग्छ कि अनि एभ्रीवन आई मीट एभ्रीवन सेज द सेम थिङ ब्रसेस किन राम्री बन्न अथवा दाँत त सिधा पार्न त्यो मात्रै हुन्थ्यो बट अ लट अफ थिङ फङ्सनल कुराहरू पनि रहेछ कि ब्याक स्टोरीमा लाइक यु क्यान नट च्यु प्रपरली होइन यु क्यान नट क्लिन यु क्यान नट क्लिन यर टिथ प्रपरली ज स्ट्रक्चरदेखि लिएर एन्ड इभन प्रोनाउन्सिएसनमा पनि असर गर्दो रहेछ धेरै होइन सो अ लट अफ टु डु विथ द्याट टु बट मोस्टली अपियरेन्सको लागि क्या अनि कस्तो केसेसहरू पनि आउने रहेछ भन्दाखेरि मेरो छोरीको बिहे हुन पाएन यति धेरै फोटो देखाइसक्यो एन्ड देन दाँत चाहिँ सिधा पारिदिनु पऱ्यो राम्रो बनाइदिनु पऱ्यो भनेर कि अनि केसेस पनि भएको नै रहेछ कि आफ्टर द सी ट्रान्सफर्म द टिथ विथ द हेल्प अफ ब्रेसेस एन्ड अल त्यही रिजेक्ट गरेकै केटाले चाहिँ बिहा गर्यो भन्ने खालको कुरा पनि गर्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो कि स्टोरिजहरू सेयर गर्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो सो इट्स लाइक such a thing from obviously media impacts, but घरबाटै त्यो कुरा स्टार्ट हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ कस्तो हुँदो रहेछ कि all of these practices from, like I talked about my scar with my lips, right? But then lip filler गर्नेदेखि लिएर making sure plastic surgeries and all of that. So यो भने त exactly, so it's like profit, like you said, it's profiting off of our insecurities नि त big time. अलिकति social media को पनि कुरा आएको भएर I want to link that to अघि हामीले पनि कुरा गर्यौं the FOMO भन्ने term, if you've heard about it, fear of missing out, अथवा एउटा ट्रेन्डमा होप अन गरौँ भनेर. So how much does social media impact? Like you said, if I filter out the creators or people or pages I am following, obviously I get the kind of content I'm looking for, right? But then algorithm नै यस्तो छ कि जुन कन्टेन्टमा बढी भ्युज छ त्यो पनि हामी कहाँ आइपुग्छ कि. So कस्तो हुन्छ यो रोल अफ सोशल मिडिया स्पेशली, बिकज देयर आर गुड ट्रेन्ड्स, देयर आर ब्याड ट्रेन्ड्स, लाइक देयर आर ट्रेन्ड्स लाइक यु सेड योगाको गर्ने च्यालेन्जेस एन्ड एभ्रिथिङ, जिम होला, इभन फर अ पिक्चर पिपल आर गेटिङ मेम्बरसिप होइन. सो द्याट माइट बी अ गुड साइड अफ इट, अर मेबी प्रमोटिङ न्युट्रिसन, म चाहिँ यस्तो खान्छु न्युट्रिसन डायटहरू भनेर, मेबी द्याट वुड बी अ गुड साइड अफ इट. बट देन सो मेनी ट्रेन्ड्स द्याट माइट बी अफेक्टिङ अस, or so many photographs that we see which might be affecting us consciously or unconsciously, So a little bit social media, because from what I know, तपाईं पनि अलिकति active नै हुनुहुन्छ. You've been vocal about your health issues to all of these things. You are very much vocal, especially in terms यही space मा. And then तपाईं social media मा हुनुहुन्न अहिले, but your organization is in social media. So एकदम अनि म त फेरि झन् digital media, digital marketing मै काम गर्ने. So अलिकति social media को impact, because that's been a huge part of our culture, and I see 6-year-old ले नै TikTok चाहिँ swipe गर्दै चलाएको के. And strangely enough, पेरेन्ट्सहरूले चाहिँ त्यो किड्स युट्युबमा चाहिँ स्विच गर्नु हुँदैन रहेछ कि. सो अडल्ट कन्टेन्ट नै जाने कि 6-7 years ओल्डको बच्चाहरूलाई पनि. सो अ लिटल बिट अबाउट सोसल मिडियाको, anyone can start, अथवा why you went off, अथवा how it impacts भनौँ न basically.
I have everything wrong to say about social, I mean negative to say about social media हुन्छ होला हैन. तर you talked about gym मा फोटो खिच्नको लागि भनेर जाने, but if you're not using it, it's of no use जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई हैन. or यो फोटो खानको लागि हामी के गर्छौं भनेर, तर त्यो खाना खाइरहेछ कि छैन थाहा हुँदैन. अहिले म एउटा सानो एक्जाम्पल के खानाकै कुरा र फोटोको कुरामा मुकबाङ आजकल एकदम छ, एकदम धेरै खाने हैन. मैले मेरै घरमा देखाएको छु मुकबाङ एकदमै धेरै हेरेर मेरो आफ्नै रिलेटिभमा I don't want to say को के भनेर हैन, तर एकदम धेरै बिन्जिङ गरेकै देखाएको छु कि, किनभने त्यो हेर्नुभयो भने यति धेरै खाना राखेको हुन्छ, अनि then त्यो ASMR गरे हुन्छ, अनि त्यो साउन्ड इट्स सुदिङ, अनि मिठो साउन्ड आउँछ, अनि मासु हुन्छ मोस्ट अफ द टाइम, अनि कस्तो खरो खाइरा हुन्छ हैन. अनि त्यो पछि त्यसले गरेर बिन्जिङ त्यो के जहिले पनि मासु खान मन लाग्ने मैले देखेकै कुरा हो कि.
They do it with just sweets मात्रै पनि रहेछ.
अहिले त स्विट्स मात्र छ.
मुकबाङ्गर्सहरू भन्छ कि के भन्छ, आइ एम नट स्योर, बट मुकबाङ गर्ने क्रिएटर्सहरूले चाहिँ खाने एन्ड देन दे गो एन्ड देन लाइक यु सेड कि भमिट गर्ने कि, एन्ड त्यस्तो पनि एकदम धेरै इस्यु, एन्ड दे आर रिसिभिङ हेट पनि रहेछ कि त्यस्तो क्रिएटर्सहरू पनि.
अब द्याट इज अनदर इन्डस्ट्री द्याट्स ह्यापनिङ अराउन्ड अहिले होइन. अब अहिले इफ यु नोन एकजना युक्रेनियन युट्युबर हुनुहुन्छ, मलाई थाहा चाहिँ हुन्छ फेरि के भइरहेको. अनि हिज gained a lot of weight. उहाँको वेट नभनौँ तर उहाँको हेल्थसँग चाहिँ एकदम धेरै इम्प्लिकेसन्स आएको छ मुकबाङै गरेर होइन. मैले एउटा सानो एक्जाम्पल दिएको मुकबाङको चाहिँ होइन. तर फोटो अर्को कुरा चाहिँ एकदम धेरै एकदम फ्यान्सी खानेकुरा खानुपर्ने फर द सेक अफ न्युट्रिसन, चिया सीड पुडिङ हो कि अब आई डोन्ट नो एभोकाडो, अब इट्स नट सिजनल, सधैँ हुँदैन एभोकाडो. अब मैले याद गरेँ हिसाबले कोभिडको टाइममा देयर वाज एन एभोकाडो, अनि मान्छेहरू चाहिँ खोज्दै जानु भएको थियो कि इट्स रियली गुड भनेर. त तपाईँको घरमै पाउँछ त्यो हाडे बदाम ओखरहरू, देयर अल ओमेगा 3 देयर गुड फुड होइन. त्यसलाई गरेर अब एभोकाडो त्यो आई थिङ्क द्याट सिफ्ट इज ह्यापनिङ बिकज अफ सोसियल मिडिया. मलाई चाहिँ फिल हुन्छ त्यस्तो होइन. सो त्यो त आफ्नो भिजुअल क्युजहरूले एकदम धेरै इम्प्याक्ट पार्छ. र म एकदम धेरै हाम्रो खाना कोही मेरो क्लाइन्ट हुनुहुन्छ भने पनि आई एम भेरी मच स्ट्रिक्ट अबाउट सबै यो खानासँग रिलेटेड चाहिँ सबै हटाउनुहोस्. वी रोमान्टिसाइज ramen pani pareको बेलामा and झोल मोमो with that local झोल मोमो हैन food challenge भयो त romanticize गर्छौं के हामी हैन तर त्यो maybe you don't want that पानी परेको बेलामा यो के थाहा हेर्नु भएको छ याद गर्नु भएको छ तपाईले त चिया समोसा भनेर आउँछ कहिले चिया पकौडा भनेर आउँछ हैन किन मलाई चाहिँ चाहिदैन रहेछ मैले चाहिँ साथीहरु पनि याद गरे कि कहाँबाट आयो के यो कहाँबाट आयो it's all media for me it's media है मैले फिल्म्स होला or whatever त्यो हैन
But I kind of just, I mean, like, I have a different perspective on that because food is also a joy, you know. For me, like, I love food. I love enjoying food. So to romanticize gareko pani is something I really enjoy because it's just, like, you know, so many other things for me. So, malai say, I love food, you know, so I want to appreciate food as well.
Even try it.
So, no,
like,
हैन
in a moderate amount maybe, right?
हैन गर्न पाइन्छ हो मेरो पनि कुरा गर्न पाइन्छ हो तर कोही मान्छेको चाहिँ के त्यस्तै नै ह्याबिट वा प्याटर्न त्यस्तै छ भने चाहिँ उहाँहरुको लागि चाहिँ प्रब्लमेटिक हुन सक्छ कि भन्ने हो कि मेरो चाहिँ किनभने obviously I also love food हामी त I think खानामै धेरै कुरा गर्छौं and हाम्रो सोशलाइजिङ पनि खानामै हुन्छ and you have to do that I don't want you to not do that साथीहरुसँग गएर बाहिर नखानु भन्न मिल्ने नमिल्ने हैन हैन तर it's more like if त्यस्तो प्याटर्न छ भने त्यो ट्रिगर्सको कुरा गर्नु भएको थियो नि अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ I think सोशल मिडियाको यो भिजुअल क्यूजहरु पनि ट्रिगर हो भने जस्तो हो हैन मेरो लागि पर्सनली सोशल मिडिया किन नआयो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ it's more related to my attention and focus so मलाई चाहिँ मेरो फोकस डाउन भइराछ जस्तो लाग्छ बिकज आई कन्स्टेन्टली त्यो फिड धेरै भयो मेरो पर्सनल है यो चाहिँ अनि मलाई चाहिँ I know how my focus and how मेरो आफ्नो काम गर्ने तरिका or मेरो पढ्ने तरिका कस्तो छ भनेर हैन सो त्यसमा चाहिँ मलाई एकदम धेरै प्रब्लम भएको छ जस्तो लाग्छ त्यसले गरेर पनि म सोशल मिडियामा चाहिँ अलि धेरै बस्न नसके हो बिकज आई रियली डोन्ट वान्ट टु नो म पहिलेदेखि नै मलाई अरूले के गरिरहेछ थाहा पाउन जरुरत छ जस्तो लाग्दैन मेरो आफ्नो लागि चाहिँ सो मलाई चाहिँ this is not really needed for me भने जस्तो लाग्छ so I don't really have that fear of missing out पनि मलाई ट्रेन्ड्सहरु पनि ओके भइराछ आम ओके म यो फलो नै गर्ने हैन भने मलाई त्यसमा खासै त हुँदैन भन्ने भएर हो है तर कसैले फियर अफ मिसिङ आई हेभ ह्याड फ्रेन्ड्स जसलाई चाहिँ यो फियर अफ मिसिङ आउट भयो कि उनीहरूले पनि उहाँहरू सोशल मिडियामा एक्टिभ हुनुहुन्छ हैन सो त्यो आफ्नो पर्सनल हो जस्तो लाग्छ त्यो obviously it's very subjective
I'm also amazed by the amount of money people spend to kind of keep up with the lifestyle on social media okay so I work with young people I work in a school I mean Yulin's school goes and ani त्यसपछि sometimes I'm at a cafe at a breakfast and I randomly see very young people then I immediately kind of my eye goes there because now I've worked for a few years with young people okay ani I mean, I earn and I can go and have breakfast on Saturday and stuff on Sunday, and then they're loitering around. Adhi ghanta sama they're clicking pictures with the food, the decor, and all of that. Then they're not even having a fulfilling breakfast between the two of them, unsani and expensive. And because of your friends have expensive things, you want expensive things. You don't know if you can be able to afford it. So the whole it's not just about showing the good side of your life banda pani it's creating an entirely new life just for the sake of social media pani मैले देखेछु के
but social and mass media popular media like you said how you know we were influenced into buying the weight loose belt देखि लिएर यस्तो कुराहरु पनि के अब सोशल मिडिया त अहिले धेरै युजमा भएर everyone's on it so त्यसले धेरै शेप चाहिँ गरेछ and lot of creators के because राम्रो मान्ने नराम्रो मान्ने हैन सो बिकज मास मिडियामा चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ केले आइबल्स ल्याउँछ खालको कन्टेन्ट अलि बढी जान्छ भने सोशल मिडियामा त जस्तो पनि मान्छे हुनुहुन्छ जस्तो पनि कन्टेन्ट आउँछ नि त एन्ड देन इट्स रियली अप टु अस टु डिसाइड एन्ड फिल्टर राइट
दिस इज इन्ट्रेस्टिङ है यो चाहिँ मैले उहाँले भन्दाखेरि पनि याद गर्दाखेरि म युट्युब चाहिँ चलाउँछु युट्युब सोशल मिडिया भन्नु तर आइम अलवेज डुइङ दिस डोन्ट रेकमेन्ड दिस च्यानल टु मी डोन्ट रेकमेन्ड दिस च्यानल भनेर जतिखेर पनि गर्नुहुन्छ कि सर मैले यति धेरै सब्सक्राइब गरेको छु जुन चाहिँ मलाई सुन्नु मन छ हैन इट इज रियली हेल्प्ड यो चाहिँ मलाई भएको छ इट इज रियली हेल्प्ड अनि मलाई जे हेर्न मन छ म त्यो हेर्छु हैन अनि समटाइम्स चाहिँ आई गो हे वायर के फेरि त तल त शर्ट्स आउँदो रहेछ क्या फेरि अहिले मैले थाहा पाएको रिसेन्टली त्यो हेराहेरै हुने रहेछ क्या अस्ति चाहिँ म हेराहेरै भइरहेको थिएँ अनि मैले फेरि याद गरेँ ए ओके त्यस्तै रहेछ मलाई थाहा थिएन म टिकटक खासै हेर्दिनँ मलाई थाहा थिएन तर मैले त्यो गरेँ आई टोल्ड यु माई फ्रेन्ड्स मेरो साथीहरूलाई अर्गनाइजेसनमा हाम्रो अर्गनाइजेसनको आफ्नो पर्सनल कम्पनीको त सोसियल मिडिया हुन्छ वी आर देयर we have to know what is happening भनेर अनि उसलाई भन्दा यो टिकटक त हो नि जस्तो यो सिङ भनेर भन्यो नि ए ओके भनेर तर दोज आर भेरी स्मल सेक्सनको हुने रहेछ है मलाई चाहिँ त्यसले एकदम धेरै अटेन्सनमा प्रब्लम पार्छ कि जस्तो लाग्छ
मलाई चाहिँ so social media has been very positive for me in terms of मेरो आफ्नै journey actually as well and then my audience and how people have been able to relate to my content. So I started becoming more active on Instagram especially around 2016 and that's when I was traveling. Ani पहिला चाहिँ it was very much just for myself to share my travel photos etauti and then it was really just I remember so well one or two incidents when I decided to so I've been a writer for a long time ani where I decided to be a bit vulnerable and share something about my body or my thoughts about my feelings Instagram and I saw straight away kati positive reaction to it okay? On each post I put out where I was really vulnerable with my own personal story how many people resonated with that and that really gave me the motivation to keep going because I could see like and women write messages to me young women saying tapako content it's helped me so much you're my role model etawati and at the same time I don't think what I'm doing is this so extraordinary either because I really just talk from my own personal experience what I believe in but that can be a really powerful thing especially I think Nepal ma pani because I think most of the content creators female content creators Nepal ma are very much into style or makeup or beauty or this and that the aesthetic so for someone to do something out of that box and talk about things that also aren't talked about is really important and for work for networking everything Instagram has become like I need it professionally as well and sometimes of course that can get annoying because I just use it so much a lot of my time goes into it but social media has been like very effective for me like professionally creatively in a lot of ways
more like I said more digital media mein kaam garne bhayera I know it's like impact it's bad sides pros and cons but back in 2018 I guess I also did a body positivity campaign with PLAN Nepal अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ we did basically a photo shoot in terms of जस्तो तपाईको different kind of थियो from acid burn victims देखि लिएर हैन even above overweight to underweight यस्तो खालको गरेर even with the measuring tape I just round it up around my face and then हामीले numbers भन्ने त्यो टपिकमा पनि गराएको थियो कि so त्यसले पनि राम्रो impact पारेको थियो so I could relate because you have been producing that content for so consistently नि त हाम्रो त एउटा प्रोजेक्ट थियो राइट त्यसले त कस्तो राम्रो impact गराएको थियो भन्दाखेरि that stories those words or the pictorial representation ले चाहिँ एकदम ठुलो impact पार्छ कि so I think social media मा very mindful of whom you follow is very important and obviously body positivity you can feel good about your body in terms of accepting how you look and changing the way you feel like and then you can feel very bad about your body too so it's kind of like a pro and con but कसरी balance गर्ने भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ is important
चाहिन्छ भने म जस्तै कसैले छोडेर जानु छैन हैन because this is very true that professionally पनि आजकल social media is very important हैन I have figured out my way because मैले धेरै अगाडि छोड्या हो हैन but I know what is going to happen तर अहिले झ्याप्पै छोड्दाखेरि I know धेरैलाई गाह्रो पनि हुन्छ र त्यो कनेक्सनको पनि प्रब्लम हुन सक्ने हुन्छ कि हैन सो त्यही भएर ब्यालेन्स राख्यो भने चाहिँ but I'm it's pretty interesting that people share things and even although it's online platform भए पनि हैन मान्छेले रिलेट गर्छ भनेपछि चाहिँ
and I think especially during COVID times के कस्तो अब सबै हाम्रो कनेक्सनै थिएन नि त right we're isolated in our homes थियो I think digital community भनेर एकदमै strong भयो के and maybe some people think okay you don't know that person or they live across the world from you that I've developed so meaningful and nice connections with people I've never met in real life because if you have a shared interest and even no matter how far they are you can connect okay? So too I think is also like COVID ko time mata I feel like it was so important for our mental health to have that as well
Take COVID ke time I mean it's also amazing how social media and Instagram kind of helps women come together like there was a Reddit thing all of us came together अनि I know Pat to go पनि all the period protestहरू उनीहरूले social media कै through advertise गरेर they had an amazing turnout so it's I'm not very sure how else I would be able to kind of invite all of the women, like-minded women, to one platform and be like, on Tuesday, this thing is happening. Come on, Bhandary. So it's definitely helped all of these like-minded women come together, have discussions, flourish conversations, and do so much more.
I remember the corset challenge early कुरा गर्दाखेरि do you know?
No.
त्यो the corset like the एकदम गरेर thin waist गर्छ नि हो त्यो. Even filters like what they do with your eye color to your skin.
त्यो पूरा face shape change गरिदिन्छ नि हैन, cheeks and nose and everything.
त्यो फिल्टर हेरेर अनि त्यो पछि आई हेभ ह्याड फ्रेन्ड्स जसले चाहिँ त्यो लेन्स चाहिँ यो लेन्स चाहिँ मलाई राम्रो देख्दो रहेछ भनेर अनि त्यो लेन्स चाहिँ बिहामा लगाएको के नयाँ अर्कै लेन्स लगाएको त्यस्तो पनि भएको छ.
That is exactly what young people don't see, right? Like photo shootsहरू अब उहाँहरूले as soon as they open Instagram, authentic content like yours, it does not just readily come there. So the first thing they're going to see is what's locally trending. Ani unharukuma makeup artists, beauty influencers they follow garदाखेरि what they don't see is that picture is a construction of makeup artist, hairstylist, I don't know, like
a village.
a whole village of Photoshop artists, photographers. It's like a dozen people and 2 and 3 of their interns. That's a work created by 15, 16 people. And when you're 13, fresh on Instagram, the locals, after feed gorde ayo, and that is the image you're going to have in your head.
Like even I see a lot of creators, especially Nepal Bairako, who've been like posing a certain type in Instagram, ekdam ramro body and then showing the behind the scene, like tucking their stomach in and then tucking it out and then so posturally धेरै फरक पनि पार्दो रहेछ. So what you see भनिन्छ नि सोशल मिडिया अथवा जे पनि हो, अब म चाहिँ धेरै त्यो मार्केटिङ ब्रान्डिङमा पनि काम गरेको भएर होला, यो मैले देखेको हैन देखाइएको हो जस्तो लाग्ने के हैन. सो बेसिकली त्यो हो जस्तो पनि लाग्छ त्यो द काइन्ड अफ इमेज दैट यु एसोसिएट विथ. अनि यङ गर्ल्सलाई र एडोलेसेन्टलाई एकदमै गाह्रो अथवा एकदमै इम्पोर्टेन्ट इज टु फिल्टर आउट द कन्टेन्ट के. एन्ड द भन्छ नि पेरेन्ट्स द सिनियर शुड बी रियली माइन्डफुल. लाइक आई सेड पेरेन्ट्सको युट्युब चलाएपछि त्यो अर्को ओल्डर एज भइहाल्यो नि त. अथवा साइन इन गर्दाखेरि तपाईँको यस्तो हेऱ्यो एज त उसको त 30-40 पुगिसकेको हुन्छ, मान्छे भर्खर 13-14 को हुन्छ हैन. सो यो चाहिँ अलिकति आफ्नो नेटवर्कमा, आफ्नो कम्युनिटीमा, आफ्नो फ्यामिलीमा कोही आफूभन्दा सानो हुनुहुन्छ, गर्ल्स बोइज वेभर भने चाहिँ उहाँको पनि डिजिटल एक्टिभिटी फिल्टर गरेर अलिकति उहाँलाई पनि फिल गुड अबाउट देमसेल्भ्स खालको कन्टेन्टहरू पनि प्रिफर गर्ने. फिल्टरिङ लाइक यु सेड नट रेकमेन्ड गर्दिने सो द्याट इट डज नट सो अप इन देयर फिड. त्यस्तो चाहिँ इज इम्पोर्टेन्ट जस्तो लाग्छ.
The age limit is kind of reducing rapidly. We first used social media, I don't know, 15 or something. I think
high five tha ni पहिला याद छ.
I mean, now I see people posting in there. I'm really uncomfortable with people posting their infants.
Even I am.
I read this article on Kathmandu Post about their TikTok influencers who are 5 and 4 years old.
मैले अलि अस्ति भर्खर हेरेको एकजना 5-year-old मेकअप आर्टिस्ट देखेको थिएँ. मलाई साथीले देखाएर त्यो यस्तो के लगाएर हुन्छ नि यस्तो कन्टोर्स एन्ड स्टफ गरेर 5-year-old अनि उसले आफैले पनि लगाइरहेको हुन्छ.
And then I think public reacts to them so well, and then everyone's like, oh my god, so amazing, kosto cool eta uti. The bacha whole sense of self is all based on that external validation, and that can really mess up their mental health when they're older, because they're used to receiving that, and suddenly ek din aina bhane yati number of likes, then they feel awful about themselves.
But yeah, I think we can relate that to validation ko कुरा पनि के, because राम्रै बन्न खोज्ने यो गर्ने, like you said, mentioned boys earlier पनि हैन, so त्यो validate गर्न खोजिन्छ नि त. So if you could validate in that sense पनि के, if that social media could give you that sort of validation, of mass media could give you that sort of validation, because I see a lot of patients हरु पनि आजकल चाहिँ is keeping the criteria open in terms of height, weight अथवा body type चाहिँ यस्तो नभए पनि it's fine, you can participate भन्ने खालको patient.
I don't think they win, right? So
that's another story. That's not the story.
फकाउनलाई गर्दैन धेरैजना मलाई चाहिँ लाग्छ धेरैजना मान्छे आउट
for sure.
किनभने हेर्नुमा त you see the same kind of body, same kind of hair, same kind of people winning the
Even I remember people with like America's top model, there was a model who came with a skin condition, and then she became so successful because she embraced that skin condition. So things like that. It's just like these TV programs or social media are so important, but just learning to filter and then keeping yourself in constant validation, but in a good way.
And it's always tokenistic, like if there's one transgender model or one model with a skin condition or one very dark skin model, there's only ekjana matre huncha ni who really makes it, and they're like, okay, your representation cha bhayo bhanera ke.
Not very accessible jasto लाग्छ मलाई.
Yeah, and it's just because they just want to show that they're doing the politically correct thing, But your pageants ko pani, I definitely agree. Like Asti I posted, I interact with my followers a lot, and I wanted to. I find it very interesting how Nepalma your beauty pageant industry सँग there's an obsession, there's an actual obsession. School बच्चाहरुको pageant भयो, school रे, university रे, Miss University के नेपाल रे, universe हरु त भइहाल्यो. And I wanted to get people's opinion on why are we as a country so obsessed with this के. And one thing I hadn't really considered is the money side of it, So it's actually a big incentive for organizers to organize these things, get sponsors, paisa auncha, and then people seem to just have this fascination with it. So there's no reason to stop doing this.
True. Do you think men are equally, objectified or equally made to think about their body type or shape or things like that?
For men in Nepal, I think height is a big concern. I know a lot, it's like when family member, your cousins start getting married and so the girl can't be taller than the guy. अनि त्यस्तै आउँछ. So then
and fairness I think is always there. केटाहरुलाई पनि अब they want to use fair and handsome.
पेटको पनि कुरा आउँछ.
Big belly fat.
Copper. Yeah.
I think hair, because hair industry पनि नेपालमा एकदम ठुलो turn लिइरहेछ अहिले.
केटाहरु हुन्छ. Transplant गराउने.
Exactly.
I've had a lot of dermaको साथीहरु हुनुहुन्छ मेरो, and they talk about this, and so सबै केटाहरु.
And I guess body बनाउने as well, like especially young men, they want the abs, they want the muscles. And I think I would imagine, I don't know, but probably a lot of bullying amongst men as well. Like if they're very skinny and then they don't have the muscles or they're really short. So I'm sure त्यो पनि हुन्छ, तर I do feel like there's a lot more amongst women as well. Or their worth is not seen as only their appearance. It would be a nice advantage for them if they're like good looking as well, but they're always... It's if they're smart, if they're successful is what their worth is seen as. Whereas for us, no matter how intelligent, amazing, successful we are, if we're not beautiful as well, then it's like, what's the point? That's how people see it.
Beauty with brains or beauty with brains.
So cute.
So any successful campaigns or role models that you think that we can follow, or young girls, that adolescents can follow, of any age, any gender, but mostly?
Follow you.
Follow Nirvana.
There's so many, अब नाम ठ्याक्कै यादै हुँदैन.
नेपालसँग रिलेट हुनुपर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ है मलाई चाहिँ. एकदमै धेरै बाहिरको भए पनि it should come from here. जे भए पनि खानाहरुमा पनि हामी कुरा गर्दा त्यही गर्छौं कि यहाँबाट it's always that local.
I would say things like these, where real women talk about Nepal's context and what we faced growing up and it's kind of. So paila, if you ever had to go in career counseling amongst family, like you parna man layo, who do we go to? There are only male members who are taken very seriously to talk about engineering garna when there are female engineers in your family or something like that, and you ask anybody who's your role model to young girls, they're going to talk about somebody you don't know because they're the upcoming trending beauty influencer. So and once I said, I really like Sheryl Sandberg, and my cousin's like, who? And then I said, Facebook was and what is there to like? She's so old, and I'm like, that's not it. And then she's like such a trailblazer. Just उनीहरूले के प्रायोरिटाइज गरेछ भनेर कस्तो डिस्टिङ्क्टिभली देखिन्छ नि त देयर नट कन्सर्न अबाउट वेदर द वुमन सक्सेसफुल ओर एनिथिङ एन्ड यिनीहरू चाहिँ एज द लिस्ट वी क्यान डु इज रिपोस्ट अबाउट देम लाइक हाउ अमेजिङ दिज वुमेन आर यता नेपालमा बाहिर जस्ट वुमेन हु निड टु बी रेकग्नाइज्ड के
Do you think it affects the job that you do or the work that you do, Penny? Because I'm not talking about jobs like just men or women, like blue collar job, pink collar job, banastai. It's not like for modeling you have to be lean. Isto bhanda pani in terms of our regular job that we do, as managers or as influencers or as anyone, कतिको affect गर्दो रहेछ body positivity like or looking certain type because. As a general manager, I can step in. Maybe they might not be expecting me to look this young or look in that hairstyle or in that body shape, right? So, कतिको affect गर्दो रहेछ workspace मा पनि.
I think a lot because I think there's even studies that show people who are considered conventionally attractive are much more likely to be hired for the same
and
job,
promoted.
Although that other person has the same qualifications. And ageism, I think, is a big thing, Nepal, especially if you're young and you have a lot of expertise, that you're in a team with all older men, they will immediately talk down to you, be patronizing to you because they just think, oh, you're young, Katie, like ye tha. So I think that's also a big problem.
Yeah, it is.
Zuki, anything? Anything that you could share, Isma?
I have heard that हुन्छ नि मेरो कलिग्सहरू अहिलेको इन्स्टिट्युसनभन्दा पहिलाको इन्स्टिट्युसनमा काम गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ the young guys हुन्छ नि who would complain about what the female teacher was wearing and the parents came in and said you're attracting a lot of attention भनेर and these are women well into their 30s 40s and teaching kids who are 12 13 and remarks like these from the parents हामी नै women leadमा हुँदाखेरि would sometimes have to wear kurta and put on a tika so we looked older just to gather that respect from government officials हुन्छ नि हाम्रो SWC को evaluation हुँदाखेरि इन्स्पेक्सनमा आइदिने कहिलेकाहीँ कुर्ता लगाइदिने अलिअलि एउटा दुईटा ब्याङ्गल्स राख्ने अनि त्यसपछि would just sit there talk हुन्छ नि just अनि that gives you a whole lot of difference के thinking you're 21 and just thinking you're 21 and sanskari is a whole lot different right so त्यसमा पनि but even when I see a lot of the newspaper ma ads are there receptionist ma bhai pani they want someone attractive preferably a female
to
preferably a female
less these days but yes still
लेखिदैन तर when you're hire गर्दाखेरि त छ नि त मान्छेहरु त्यही भन्ने हो त्यही नै खोज्ने हो I've seen this एकदम personally थाहा भएको कुरा
so तिनीहरु चाहिँ it's मेरोमा चाहिँ it's about respect wanting respect which I rightfully deserve भनौं न अनि त्यसपछि चाहिँ the unnecessary sexualizing of women के just because guys are around भनेर so it was a long अनि I remember म USAID मा यो भन्दा अगाडि USAID को एउटा प्रोजेक्टमा काम गर्थेँ I used to live in Panchkhal के so I went for a retreat because मेरो supervisor who was based in Kathmandu remembered that I was also there and I go to this retreat in Dhulikhel I'm the only woman among 55 men and I am shocked because I know a lot of people have done their degree are equally qualified for their jobs but त्यहाँ retreatमा आउने the same problem के अब आयो अनि त्यसपछि के गर्ने भनेर the men drinking at night you don't know even though they're your colleagues they come from all over Nepal हैन but you don't really know them आफ्नो area को चाहिँ आफ्नो cluster को you would know but अरूहरु त चिन्दैन अनि त्यसपछि the same problem के you're isolated most of the time because you're a woman field trips मा जाँदा they're so inconsiderate about your हुन्छ नि menstrual hygiene that you need to have a safer like a more confined bathroom somewhere and you would need somebody to come it does not have to be a man but you would need somebody to come to the restroom with you if it's outside if it's somewhere in the highway भनेर हुन्छ नि त्यो needsहरु चाहिँ consider नगर्दैन because there's never been a woman in that place के उनीहरुको अगाडि
It's very tough to find role models. So I think basically to instill that positivity, you need to filter things out, content out, and also to listen to things that would make you feel more positive. And body image bhaneko ta it's lot to do with how you evaluate yourself pani ho ni ta. Obviously society le yesto bhancha, media le yesto dekhaउँछ and then you're evaluating yourself to them, right? It could be a good evaluation, it could be a bad. That's another story. But then self evaluation is a lot of part of that. validation is a lot of part of that, right? So even I remember actually social media there was a certain illustration of two girls and एउटा चाहिँ was labeled ugly, एउटा चाहिँ beautiful के त्यो beautiful र ugly भन्ने word बुझाउँदाखेरि त्यो एउटा कुन चाहिँ स्कुलको which class को curriculumमै थियो के त्यो, it went so viral and people were very actively protesting against it. यस्तो भयो भनेर भनिरहेको थियो and the images depicted त्यस्तै थियो के, एउटा चाहिँ एकदम fair अनि lean खालको केटी which was labeled beautiful and यतापट्टि चाहिँ एकदमै अलिकति overweight अलिकति dark skinned खालको केटीको illustration which was labeled ugly भनेर हैन. सो स्कुलदेखि नै त्यस्तो कुराहरू करिकुलमदेखि नै सिकाइन्छ भने त अभियसली हाम्रो दिमागमा पनि पर्छ नि त. सो वाट डु यु थिङ्क सुड बी हुन्छ नि यो कुराहरूलाई सल्भ गर्न अथवा इन अ लार्जर स्केल राम्रो गर्नको लागि फ्रम पोलिसी लेभल टु स्कुल लेभल टु इन्स्टिट्युसन लेभल लाइक फ्यामिलीज इभन इन्डिभिजुअल लेभलमा के गर्न सकिन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ? जस्ट योर आइडियाज or experiences or knowledge on this.
Appearance-कै कुरा नगरौँ बढी सुरु गर्दा हुन्छ कि makes a lot of difference I think, right? Policy level-मा त there are lots to do है अब हामीले काम गर्दा.
Because मैले एउटा just सानो काटेँ तर मैले रिसर्चेसहरू हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ युजुअली एन्डमा रेकमेन्डेसनमा चाहिँ अवेरनेस रिलेटेड क्याम्पेन गर्नु पर्यो, मिडियाबाट गर्नु पर्यो, स्कुलबाट चाहिँ अवेरनेस रिलेटेड कुरा गर्नु पर्यो भन्छ कि. सो मेबी पोलिसी लेभल कुड अल्सो बी तपाईँले भने जस्तै यु कुड गिभ सम एक्जाम्पल्स सो द्याट केही रिलेट हुनलाई सक्छ.
पोलिसी लेभलमा कुरा गर्ने हो, स्कुलमा कुरा गर्ने भने मलाई चाहिँ आई थिङ्क पेरेन्ट्सलाई इन्भल्भ गर्नुपर्छ. किनभने हुर्काइ त आमासँगै हुने हो, आफूलाई त थाहा हुँदैन के भइरहेछ भनेर. स्पेसली आमासँग अलिक मोर क्लोज हुन्छ होला केटीहरूको कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ. सो मेबी उहाँहरूलाई चाहिँ अवेर गर्नु चाहिँ इज इम्पोर्टेन्ट. किनभने अब अबको यो यस्तो थाहा पाएको मान्छेहरूले if they have babies or their children maybe अलिकति छुट्टै हुन्छ हैन. तर र पनि हामी मात्र छैनौँ भनेर डिफ्रेन्ट काइन्ड्स अफ पिपल भनेर छ. उहाँले डिफ्रेन्ट ठाउँबाट हुनुहुन्छ, डिफ्रेन्ट किसिमको हुर्काइ छ, डिफ्रेन्ट किसिमको एक्सपिरियन्सेस लिएर आउनु भएको छ हैन. सो उहाँहरू सबै अझै हामीमा पनि छ कि त्यही अवेरनेस ल्याउनु पर्ने. सो स्कुल लेभल पोलिसी लेभलमा किड्सहरूलाई सेन्सिटाइज गर्नुपर्दा पेरेन्ट्सलाई नै गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ कि यस्तो यस्तो कुरा नहोस्, घरमा यस्तो गरेर नबोल्नु पर्यो, यस्तो नभन्नु पर्यो आफ्नो किड्सलाई एकदम फ्री स्पेसमा के भन्ने अलि हुर्किन दिनु पर्यो जस्तो टाइपको.
सोशलाइजेसनको मेन इन्स्टिट्युसन त फ्यामिली नै हो नि त हिसाबमा.
इट सुड कम फ्रम फ्यामिली इट्सेल्फ. अनि बिस्तारै बिस्तारै चाहिँ मेबी अलिक एडोलेसेन्ट टाइममा चाहिँ बच्चाहरूलाई सेन्सिटाइज गर्दा हुन्छ त्यतिखेर विथ वाट एभर हाम्रो जस्तै पडकास्ट हुन सक्छ, सो मेनी थिङ्स होइन. सोसियल मिडियामा लट अफ गुड कन्टेन्ट क्रिएटर्स भनिसक्नु त्यस्तो गर्न मिल्छ है. सुरुमा चाहिँ आई रियली थिङ्क पेरेन्ट्स सुड.
I also highly feel like social media चलाउन पनि सिकाइदिनु पर्छ कि, like how to filter out content and all भनेर हैन. But most of our body positivity, body image अनि your self-sabotaging behaviors चाहिँ is also tied to gender. And now when families look so different from what they previously used to look like 30 years ago हुन्छ नि, अहिले मदर फादर भन्दा नि पेरेन्ट हुन्छ होइन, अनि पेरेन्ट्स और पेरेन्ट हुन्छ. सो फ्यामिलीज लुक भेरी डिफरेन्ट. नट अ केयर प्राइमेरी केयर गिभर भनेर मदर फिमेल फिगर नै हुन्छ भन्ने छैन. त्यो कुरा पनि एक्सेप्ट as soon as these older people accept these, the sooner can they impart it to people within. Just अहिले पनि I talk to my colleagues who are married, I know उहाँहरू in-lawसँग बस्नुहुन्छ and they don't accept that they're हुन्छ नि sometimes अनि नयाँ grandchildren हुन्छ 3-4 years old अनि त्यो 50 years अगाडिकै रोलहरू एक्सपेक्ट गर्ने के. अनि छोरी छ एउटा छोरा छ grandchildrenमा भनेपछि they're not very comfortable, both the children playing with Legos or like rough housing and stuff. Okay, so त्यो सब चाहिँ एक्सेप्ट गर्यो भने मैले भने नि because it's so हाम्रो कल्चरमा चाहिँ it's tied to gender and gender roles पनि I think would be a great start.
True. I agree with a lot of that. And even small campaigns like what we have been doing, right? So त्यसले पनि एकदम ठुलो impact चाहिँ पार्छ के, like kind of like a butterfly effect, because that impacts another will impact another. So त्यो पनि is important. So we're at the end of this session as a young women round table discussion. Just a last thing about any message that you would like to give out to viewers listening to this. स्पेसली आफू एडोलेसेन्स एजमा गएर सम्झिँदाखेरि यस्तो भन्दा भए मेबी मेरो आउटलुक फरक हुन्थ्यो कि भनेर पनि सोच्नु भयो हुन्छ हजुरहरूले or even people beyond teenage pani the struggle गरिराख्नु भएको हुन्छ to accepting themselves. So any last message that you would like to give out through this platform? Anyone can start.
Well, to मेरो teenage लाई सम्झेर भन्यो भने चाहिँ I would say be yourself. I really think that would have helped me जस्तो लाग्छ है मलाई चाहिँ.
And like eliminate judgmental people from your life if you can. I know.
Like how you eliminate, how you unfollow people. And
not just unfollow, but real life. Especially friends that make you feel bad about yourself, content that makes you feel bad about yourself. Like try to separate yourself from that. I think I also
block the option real life.
There is actually there is.
Or unfollow. I think especially for young women, like to know that your beauty is not the most important thing about yourself. Your weight, the color of your skin, spend time actually cultivating your mind and your personality. This is something I would really encourage young women, because early era 2022 ma pani, if women's worth is still defined by our appearance, there's something very, very wrong. And so we have to stop it. Cultivate your brain, your personality, your interests that are like, looks should not be important. Don't interact with, as I said, things that make you feel bad about yourself, because there's so much good about you.
Continuing to what Nirvana said, I wish somebody told me like just being lighter and brighter isn't going to solve everything. That would be, and then I would also say you're so much more than what is seen on the first glance. So you're like this cool amalgamation of genes, you're a very sharp brain, you could be funny, and everything and anything you want to be. And so just to limit themselves is kind of heartbreaking.
So mostly to do with accepting themselves, of course. I would not know the meaning of being myself. I'm still discovering that. So just accepting, like you are this, you will become someone, you will become you. And then,
can I add one thing as well? I really like what you said, because I think on teenage years we don't know who we are and identity formation but also to be gentle on ourselves, just because you were saying a lot about this. You're still on your journey and every day is still a change, and I think for many of us, so like the overnight ekdam confident bhayo, ekdam badass bhayo bhanera त्यो expect पनि गर्न हुँदैन, because it comes and goes, and I think that's really okay. And for young women to know like बिस्तारै हुन्छ, overnight केही हुँदैन.
And maybe like a profession house, life house, so many body shapes and body types they've been making impact. Okay, so rather than seeing a person as their body, see them as who they are and what they are doing, what they can achieve. Okay, what kind of messages they are spreading out in the world. Like we're achieving so much, neither. So maybe focusing on that would also make a really big impact. And then representation. I think it's very important to just see and okay, so it's good. So yeah, I think that's it. That's it. It was so lovely. So it was so good. I'd like to thank SOCHAI, Youth Hub and PLAN International too for organizing such a good space for us young women to talk around this topic. And I would like another session to be organized really soon. And thank you for all of your time. I didn't know share personal, professional. So thank you for that too.
Thank you.
Thank you.